Hello, it's Claire here. I'm an interior designer, an educator, and a mum of 3 boys, and the owner of The Little Design Corner, my business where I run online courses and workshops and have downloads and resources for designers, decorators, and home renovators. And on my YouTube channel here, I share videos for designers, decorators, and home renovators who want to create beautiful homes to live in, as well as businesses that they love to work in as well. So we look at design things and productivity things and how to run your business and all range of different things, SketchUp tips and tricks, all different kinds of things. And in today's video, what I want to do is actually go through with you my ideal week calendar planning system. Now, this is something that I've spoken about quite a bit on my social media channels and in my weekly newsletters and all of those sorts of things. And it's something that lots of you find really interesting when I do share this information. And I have actually recently just updated my calendar planning system a little bit. So what I thought I would do is walk you through the complete system that I go through to plan out my calendar and to be as productive as I possibly can. I am a mum. I am juggling a lot of different priorities. I also exercise a lot and I have a lot of like a high priority on my health. So I do try and fit a lot into my week, and this ideal calendar planning system is exactly how I manage to fit everything in. So stay tuned today if that is something that is of interest, and if you are keen to learn how you can maximize your time in your week and get the most out of your time and just pick up some tips and tricks. I always love to hear behind the scenes of how other people are managing their time and maximizing their productivity. So if that's something that's of interest to you, then stick around. I am going to jump off the camera in a second so that we can look through this calendar together and I can go through it all with you. But before I do, if this video and these sorts of videos and videos about design and running a design business are of interest to you, then please do hit the subscribe button and also hit that notification bell as well. That way you'll be notified whenever I release new videos, which I try to do weekly on a Thursday. All right, so let me jump off the camera and let's get started at looking at this ideal week calendar planning system. Okay, so the first thing to mention to you is that I do this calendar planning system inside Google Calendars. So I am sure you would be able to create this in other different calendar apps or wherever you manage your calendar. But just to let you know that what I am using here is Google Calendars. And what we have down the side here, as you can see, all the different calendars that I have, and my ideal day or my ideal week calendar is just one of the many calendars that I have. And this is a calendar that I have created specifically to map out the different tasks that I want to achieve in a given week. Now, obviously every week is different, and if I overlay we'll just go to here. If I overlay my normal calendar, obviously this is many weeks in advance, so it doesn't have many activities on it, but you can see that my normal calendar, when I click onto that, is overlaid with my ideal calendar. So there is my normal calendar with the kids' activities and any things that we've got coming up. There's not many meetings or anything in that week booked out yet because that's a long way in advance. But that is, how I manage the different calendars. So I have one calendar that I use for the kids and what they have on, and then I have my ideal week calendar as another calendar. I also have a dinners calendar. So I map out all of my dinners on a 4-week rotation basically. So I book them in at 4 a.m. I don't put a notification on because I do not want to be told about that, but I put them in at 4 a.m. because then I know at the beginning of the day what we're going to be having for dinner that night. And then every 4 weeks, so if we go to the next week, every 4 weeks we have a new rotation of meals. So we have 4 weeks of meals and then they start over again, on the 5th week. So that's just a way that I save time having to think about dinners, because I don't know about you, but I find that families eat way too often. Why they have to eat that often, I don't know, but dinner comes around an awful lot in my household. So that's just basically to let you know how so just to get a new calendar, you would click here in other calendars, I think, and create a new calendar. So if you want to do that in Google Calendar, that is how you would create your own new calendar to create this ideal week calendar system. Okay, so let me talk you through how this calendar actually works. So basically the overarching idea of my ideal week calendar planning system is that I have set days for specific kinds of tasks. So I like to batch my tasks so that I'm not constantly sort of task switching. I think that's really tough in fact, there's research that tells you that task switching is a really tough thing on the brain. The best way to become productive and get into that flow state that everyone talks about in terms of getting into deep work and work that really is really productive is to actually be concentrating on the same sort of task over an extended period of time. So on Mondays, I have paid content days, which basically are the days when I put together things to do with content that makes money in my business. So that might be creating a new course, it might be updating my Facebook ads, it might be, what else might I be doing? Anyway, anything that's to do with actual paid content in my business. So that's on Mondays. I also spend an hour every single afternoon on emails and student support for my courses, so that I always know that I've got a bit of dedicated time to help the students who are inside my online courses each day, because I run all the support of that myself at the moment. So I just need to make sure I've got some time to actually dedicate to my students. So that happens every single day. Tuesdays is free content day. So free content day basically is all of my free content that I give away. So it might be creating a video like this for YouTube. It might be writing my blog posts. It might be creating a new podcast episode for the podcast I have coming out soon. Anything to do with free content I produce on a Tuesday. I'm going to come back to why they're all separated into sessions in a minute. Wednesdays, I do all my scheduling for my social media posts. So I, do all of a week's worth of Instagram posts, a week's worth of Facebook page posts, a week's worth of posts for my personal brand Instagram, and so on. Thursdays, in the morning session, I prepare my weekly newsletter. In the other part of Thursdays, I do a bit of catch up on a bit of paid work and a bit of free content work. And then I also have some time in the afternoon when I'm a little bit more tired. So these are my productive sessions in the morning, because my brain just works a bit better in the mornings. Each person will be different about that, but I try and do tasks that don't require me so much thinking in the afternoon. So I do my LinkedIn posts and my Instagram stories for the week, and then obviously some student support as well. And then Fridays is dedicated to my own professional development. So I run courses for other students and things, but I am also always learning myself. So I am always doing some kind of online course myself. I am always trying to learn and grow and learn new things and everything. So I dedicate Fridays to that sort of personal and professional development. And then Saturdays and Sundays, I do get up early. I get up at 5 o'clock every morning. We'll go through that in a second. And on Fridays and Saturdays, I generally just catch up on anything that I've missed throughout the week. And I also on Sundays plan for my week ahead. And in a few weeks, I'm going to be doing a video on my exact system that I use to plan out my week on a Sunday. So stay tuned for that if that's something that is of interest to you. Now, you'll notice that the calendar's broken up into 3 or 4 different colors. And basically, these colors represent different types of activity. So I have 3 sort of core things that are massively important to me in my life. The first, of course, is my family, and anything that's related to my family and the time that I spend with my family is blocked out in grey, as you can see. And so most of the time when the boys are back from school, that is pretty much family time. So we'll be running around to different activities. I'll be doing violin practice. We'll be doing all the different things that the boys have to get done in the afternoons. My second priority is my health. So as you can see in pink, I do a lot of exercise, and I honestly think that taking care of your health has to come before taking care of your business. If your health is not in good shape, you are not going to be good for your family, you are not going to be good for your business. And so I make this a massive priority. And for me, if something is not in my calendar, then it does not get done. So I always make sure that I have stuff mapped out in my calendar if they are priorities and goals for me. So that's why you will see every exercise session that I do in the week all mapped out here into my ideal week calendar. I do about 6 functional training or strength training sessions a week, and then I also walk every single day of the week as well. So I do walk on Saturdays and Sundays, but I fit that in here sometime in here in this grey session. So yeah, health is my second priority, and that is what the pink is. The purple is just sort of like lunch and bedtime and getting up time, so that's not really relevant. And then yellow are my working hours. So I break my working hours down into working sprint sessions. And I've spoken about working sprint sessions before in different formats across my social media and newsletter and places if you are part of those. But basically what I do is I break down each of the days into sessions of 90 minutes. So usually what I do is about 1.25 hours of work, and then I'll take a 15-minute break and I'll go and, change the washing over or make a cup of tea or do whatever it might be for that 15-minute break. And then I will launch into a second working sprint, and then I'll turn off my phone, I will turn off notifications, everything like that, and I will just put my head down. I will set myself a task for that period, and I will put my head down and I will really, really focus on that piece of work and make sure I get that done in that session. So that is how I get a lot done in my business, because I don't get distracted by emails, I don't look at my social media, I don't answer phone calls, any of that sort of stuff while I am in the middle of a working sprint session. So these are my secret sauce, I reckon. If there's anything in my business, these working sprint sessions are what really helps me maximize my productivity. As you can see, I don't have that many working hours in a week, and I'm running a 7-figure business. So on my own, I have, sorry, I didn't mean to do that. I have a few people who help me as contractors, but on the whole, I am running this business on my own. So I do not have any more hours in the day than most of you. So I'm hoping that by sharing this calendar planning system with you, that you will see that if you really focus, if you really set priorities, then you really can get a lot done in the week. So that is why I map down into these working sprints. Now, you can see I have session 1, session 2, session 3, and also session 4 here. And what I do in my Sunday planning session, which I will go through with you in more detail when I cover it off in that video, is that I actually highlight on a Sunday exactly what I'm going to do in each of those 4 sessions. There's actually 5 paid content sessions a week because the 5th one's over here. And then I will map out exactly what I'm going to do in the 4 free content sessions. So I will write, for example, free content session 1, and I've got a template that I use for my Sunday planning session, which I will show you in that video. And I will basically write session 1, blog post for the week, and in that session I have to write that blog post for the week. So having that deadline for myself is really, really handy, because it means that basically I have to get that blog post done or it will not get published this week. So it really puts a lot of sort of not pressure, because it's not pressure, but it's like it's a confined time frame around a task, and that really helps me to get it finished. So what else can I tell you about this? So I also make the most of my morning hours, as you can see. So I do get up at 5 o'clock, and I get up at 5 o'clock every single day because my body clock is in the rhythm of getting up at 5. I think if you sleep in on the weekends, you throw yourself for the coming week. So I do try and just be consistent. Obviously, if I am super tired, then I will give myself a sleep in here and there. But on the whole, I am up at 5 and I'm working. When I get up, I review my goals. I am meant to meditate. I put it here. I rarely do, to be honest. I'm really trying to get better at meditating, but I just am so terrible at it. But I would like to. It is a goal of mine to try and work on, so I do have it in the calendar. More often than not, I will just sit down and start working those. So I do sit down and review my goals though. Every morning I will review my goals and just remind myself what I am trying to do with my life and with my business. This is a very powerful thing to do. Once you've set your goals, don't just put them in a drawer and forget about them. Do review them every day, because it will help you keep on track with what you are trying to do and what you're trying to achieve. As you can see though, when you get up at 5, you have to go to bed early. So I do go to bed at 9. I'm often asleep before my children. That's life. They are in bed, don't worry. They're not just wandering around the house, but often I will fall asleep before they do, I would say. So that's basically the overview of my ideal week calendar planning system and the way that I break down my weeks. And then in this Sunday planning session, which as I said, I will cover off in a video in a few weeks, that's really how this sort of content planning system comes to life each week. So I guess you can think of this as your strategy, as your framework, as your overview of what you want to try and achieve each week, and then your specific tasks, your specific goals will be mapped into each of these working sprint sessions that you set for yourself. So think about your priorities, think about your goals, think about what you're trying to achieve in your business, and then I would suggest you create yourself a framework a little bit like this, so that each Sunday you can map in what you're going to be doing. And when we do this video on the Sunday planning session, the whole thing will come to life for you and make a lot more sense. But hopefully this will give you a really good idea of a framework that you can put together for yourself that will help you to really be much more productive with your time and actually not just sit down each day and go, what on earth am I going to be working on today? This gives you a really clear framework so that you actually know each week you're going to get stuff done. So I hope you found that helpful to have a look through this ideal calendar week planning system and the way that I approach it. If you have enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up because it really helps me get found in the massive YouTube algorithm and helps other people, more importantly, find this content and hopefully help them to make some improvements in their life as well. So the other thing is to, of course, subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell if you have enjoyed this video and you would like to see more videos like this and you would like to catch my Sunday planning session, which is coming up. And otherwise, I hope you found this really helpful and I will catch you in the next video. Have a great day.